Views expressed by Casters Guild members are only the opinions of that member, and that could change from day to day. Guild members may use mature language, but that in no way means they are mature. Listener discretion is advised.
From Doctor Who to Majin Buu, nerds like a lot of things, but there's something they like above all else, and that's correcting people. And that's the spell we're casting tonight on Casters Guild. Thank you for joining this very special episode of Casters Guild. I am going to be your host tonight, Guildmaster Rick Perry. Joining us are three lovely contestants. First up, we have Guildmaster Baron Kane.
Hey, I'm going for a great golf score on this one.
We have returning guild member Caitlyn Shires.
Hi, I know a little bit about a lot of things and not all of it's useful, but we'll see how it goes today.
And returning guild member Jason Cook.
Hello, I know almost nothing about everything, so it's going to go well.
And joining us as our fact checker for this evening is a guild officer, Tiffany Perry.
Yay! Hi, yes, I will be the one correcting your corrections.
Boo!
You're first.
So as far as I know, all of you are familiar with our game, but just in case you're not, and just in case anyone listening is not, in my hand, I have a stack of incorrect statements about the pop culture things that we know and love. At any point in time while I'm reading these statements, you can buzz in, say actually, and then give me your correction. If you correct my statement correctly, you'll get a point. And most points at the end of the game will be our winner. All right, is everybody ready to play?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Wait, do I get reimbursed if I break my phone?
No, we don't have the budget for that. No,
gently,
sorry.
gently.
All right, so our first question is going to be a comics question about superpower origins.
I give up.
While some superheroes are born with powers, others gain them later in life. Spider-Man was bitten by a radioactive spider, Wolverine was given claws as part of a government experiment, Jessica Jones got her powers from a chemical spill, and Captain Marvel was exposed to alien tech. Baron.
Wolverine was not given claws. Actually, Wolverine was not given claws. He was born with them.
That is correct. His mutation gave him his bone claws, but the experiment coated his skeleton with adamantium.
Here I am,
You beat me to it there.
reminding people that they have to say actually before, and here I am not fucking saying it.
I love how powers in comics are given by things that would have a near 100% fatality rate in real life.
Yeah, heavy metal poisoning is a thing.
It even became a thing in Old Man Logan.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. It did.
Yeah, the bones, when it's just bones, it looks weird.
It does look weird. They're just like
really creepy.
Skinny. In the when they showed it, because they showed it in the original Wolverine movie, I think. So they were kind of true in that sense. Not that that's a good movie, but yeah, but they looked really weird.
Yes. Yeah, the CG was not up to par.
Yeah.
I love, just as a comic reader, everything before finding out that he has bone claws. You look at the claws coming out of Wolverine's fists, and they're just blades.
Mm-hmm.
They're just flat blades coming out of his fist. And then it's like, oh no, those were bones. What? Nuh-uh.
Now, I can't remember though. Now, was that always his origin, or did they have an origin and then they retcon it later? Because sometimes they do that.
He had it kind of like a mid-story origin was the adamantium and stuff, but then later on they gave him a retconned further back origin of whoever, James Howlett. That's who he was.
Yeah, I think in the original comics, I think when they wrote them, they didn't know what happened before the experiment, and then later on, they just wrote it. So I don't think it was planned in, but...
We'll just go with this one.
I do think it's funny every time they retcon his origin, because it was like, he was, Wolverine, he had that healing factor in the claws. Then they retconned it a little bit, and they were like, oh no, he always had that healing factor. He was a mutant. That's why they chose him for this, and that's why it was successful. And then further back even, oh, no, he had those claws the whole time. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, there's some of them they just like keep changing them, just keep adding on, keep doing different stuff, and I'm like, whatever.
Let me know when you're done, and then I'll learn it.
right, exactly. So, yeah, let me know when you're done with all his origins. I'll just binge them all at once, and we'll be good to go.
All right, with that, we'll go ahead and go into the next question. This is from the 80s and 90s category. In the 1985 TV series Thundercats, the Thundercats' nemesis, Mum-Ra, is an immortal undead sorcerer who can call upon the power of the ancient sword Plundar to temporarily transform into a flying muscle-bound warrior named Mum-Ra the Ever-Living. He also has a pet bulldog called Mahmut, which he adores. All right, Baron was first.
Actually, he gets his powers from the pyramid.
You've identified the thing that's wrong with this statement, but it's not necessarily the correction. So I'll give you the point unless somebody else can tell me what was the correction. So we'll ask Caitlyn first, as she was next to the buzzer.
I was gonna say, actually, it's not a bulldog; it's a mutt. Because why would you name it a mom mutt if it's not a mutt?
It totally was a bulldog. It was the silliest shit ever. Oh wait, hold on. Does he get it from that swirling pool of water?
I would have to have Tiffany do me a quick little Google here because it doesn't necessarily... It gives me a name of something, and it might be in the swirling pool of water, but I don't know. Before that... Well, just see if you can find...
Thundercats swirling pool of water? Okay, got it.
What transforms Mum-Ra? While she's doing that, Jason, do you want to take a stab at this?
Oh, I had no idea. I was just going to guess that maybe he wasn't actually immortal or something like that. I have no clue.
No problem.
Never.
Well, in that case, either way, you'll get the point, Baron, and I'll go ahead and... it's fine. You don't have to look it up because they didn't take the stab. Baron's going to go ahead and get the point anyway. Mum-Ra does not use a sword to transform. Instead, he calls upon the 4 ancient spirits of evil to transform him. So I didn't know if the 4 ancient spirits were in that pool
I think
of
those
water.
are those are pillars around the pyramid. Actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah. So that's the correction. So Baron will take that point as well.
It would have been cooler if the spirits did just chill in the jacuzzi pool. Like,
oh yeah, right.
Just
5 feet apart because they're not gay.
But to be fair, if they're hanging out with Mum-Ra, they probably are.
Yeah. Like the transformation, by the way, was like super buff. Do you ever think he transformed before he went on a date just to be like?
Well, I mean, think about it. He asked these spirits for powers, right?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, here's your power. Also, you're awfully buff, and your titties are out. So it was very, for lack of a better term, homoerotic. So probably are gay. With that, the next question is about horror. In the 1986 film Little Shop of Horrors, Seymour Krelborn finds a strange plant at a street vendor and names it Audrey 2 after his beautiful coworker at the flower shop. He learns that the plant feeds on blood, and he eventually murders Audrey's boyfriend, an abusive and sadistic dentist, to satisfy it. Jason, you were in first.
Actually, the boyfriend was not abusive. Was a good guy.
Oh no, he was a dick.
No.
He was the worst.
Never seen it. Never seen it.
Baron, you were the second one in.
Actually, that's not Seymour's last name.
Oh, that's totally Seymour's name. Mm-hmm. Caitlyn, did you have a guess before we move on?
Actually, it wasn't at a street vendor.
No, it was.
Oh.
It's a street vendor. Fans, I know some of you are fans of this movie, and you're gonna kick yourselves once I give you the actual answer to this. Seymour does not murder Audrey's boyfriend. He plans to, but he chickens out, and the dentist ends up suffocating himself when the valve of his laughing gas tank breaks and he can't get the mask off.
I guess the vendor thing too. I was like, did he get it?
Yeah, I have actually not seen that movie.
Really?
No.
Oh, you guys need to. It's really good.
Yeah, it's on.
I watch
it's
a ton
on
of
my
scary
watch
movies,
list,
but that's not one that I'd seen.
Yeah, it's a dark musical. You gotta watch it.
I know, it's great. Although I think I did hear, I think the laughing gasping I've heard before.
Yeah.
Like that scene sounds familiar, so like it's probably a pretty iconic scene, I'm guessing, that none of us remembered or knew.
Yeah.
All right, with that, we'll move on to our first shiny question of the game. This shiny question is called Name 'em. So the way this is going to work is I'm going to give you the names of 4 different characters, one at a time. When I name the character, one of you can buzz in and give me the name of the planet that character is from. You cannot name the movie, you cannot name the series, you need to give me the planet that character is from. You don't have to say actually, you can just give me that planet, and whoever has named the most at the end of the 4 will get the point for this question. All right, so is everybody ready?
Yep.
All right. Our first character is Anakin Skywalker. Caitlyn, you were first to the buzzer.
Tatooine.
Tatooine is correct. Our next character is Riddick. Riddick from the Pitch Black Chronicles of Riddick.
I thought Riddick was the planet.
Oh, Baron.
Is it Furia?
It is Furia. That you are correct.
Nice.
That is one for Baron.
Whew, that took a lot of delving into my head.
This is going to be another one on my pronunciations. Paul Atreides.
Oh! Fuck.
Caitlyn.
Oh gosh, Dune. I don't think that's the planet's name. Never mind.
Dune is the series that is not the planet.
Dune is not the planet.
I really wish I had decided to see Dune.
Baron.
Oh no, I'm still wrong. I was going to say Arrakis.
It's not Arrakis.
Yeah, that's where he ended up.
All right, I'm going to have to call that one. It is Caladan.
Yeah, I would have never got it.
Caladan.
I was just gonna say Spice World would be my next guess.
All right, and our last character is going to be the Doctor.
Oh,
Baron, you were in first?
Gallifrey.
It's Gallifrey, that is correct. So I believe at the end of the shiny question, we are at Baron 2, Caitlyn 1, Jason 0, which will give Baron the point for our shiny question.
I would have known where the Daleks were from, but I couldn't remember it.
Where are they from?
Scarrow.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
Oh, yeah,
What
that is Scarrow.
I only know that because I had to make a Dynasty fantasy football team a couple years ago, and I needed like an alliteration name, but I didn't want like Sacramento Spiders, so I wanted something cool. So I was like, what's like a really cool sounding fictional name? So I was like looking through tons of lists of planets in all these different series, and I thought Scarrow Spider sounded the coolest. So that's what I.
Scarrow
That's where the
Spider
Daleks-
sounds terrifying, like a giant
Yeah.
Dalek spider. My God.
Pass.
The Weeping Angels have nothing on the Scarrow Spiders.
That actually does sound like an episode of Doctor Who,
It
too.
does.
It does.
All right, BBC, get a hold of us. We'll write it for you.
I gotta make sure I own the rights of that second half. Of the
Oh,
name. I guess they probably own
yeah.
Scarrow actually. Now that I think-
Yes. But I mean, if it's BBC, I mean, if they're hiring us to write it, they're the ones who own it, so we're good. All right, back to the normal questions, so don't forget to say actually. All right, the next question is another comics question. The DC and Marvel universes once merged into a single universe known as the Amalgam Universe, where popular heroes from 2 companies were fused together into new characters. Batman and Wolverine combined into Dark Claw, Shazam and the Hulk became Skulk, and Superman and Captain America became Super Soldier. Baron.
Actually, the Shazam and Hulk did not merge together.
That is correct, and I'll give you the point unless people can tell me who did merge together to become Skulk. No guesses?
I do. I have a guess.
Go ahead.
Possibly.
Is it?
Am I going to lose my point if I'm wrong?
No.
Solomon Grundy and Hulk?
It was Solomon Grundy and the Hulk.
Wow.
That was just a educated guess, I guess.
I
I actually had the Amalgam comics. That's the funny part. I just didn't remember the Hulk, but I was like, who could they merge him with? Oh yeah, the Grey Hulk from DC.
that makes sense.
And for a name like Skulk, you almost have to have like a creepy character like Solomon Grundy to
Well,
make up
yeah,
that
that's
name.
true.
I think it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, you're right.
But what a weird set of comics. Like, for 2 competing companies to just decide, you know what, yeah, let's merge our characters and
Hey, Spider-Boy was awesome.
make Dark Claw and
Dark Claw.
What year did you say that was?
That was I didn't say a year. I'm
Oh,
not
I
sure
thought
what
you
year it
said
was.
Curious.
I actually really like the Joker and Sabretooth. The hyena.
Oh,
That's an
that's a
interesting
cool.
combination.
That's cool. And to make it the
Yeah.
hyena, that's awesome.
That makes
Mhm.
sense.
Yep. So Amalgam Comics came out 1996.
Oh, okay.
It was that edgy period of comics.
Yeah, I was
In
gonna
the-
say it
the
sounds like
80s
a
and
late
90s,
90s, early
yeah.
2000s thing.
Yeah.
And it was actually its own comic company too. It was joint
Oh.
ownership of DC Comics and Marvel Comics, and they started up Amalgam Comics. It started in 96 and went defunct in 97.
Oh, well. Had a good run.
Good run. It was a good run.
All right. Next up, we have a fantasy question. In the 19...
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to give you a fantasy. I didn't know. Okay, go ahead.
In the 1954 book series, Lord of the Rings, after defeating Sauron, Isildur takes possession of the One Ring, but is then killed, and the ring falls into the river. Later, Smeagol discovers it while fishing and almost immediately falls under its power. He makes his way into a cave under the Misty Mountains where he slowly grows mad. Baron.
Actually, it wasn't the Misty Mountains.
No, it was the Misty Mountains.
Well, then I have no idea.
Caitlin.
Actually, it didn't fall into the river right away.
No, it did. It did fall into the river. Yeah. All right.
I feel like I'm getting like there's something that I saw in the movie that didn't actually happen in the book.
Jason.
Yeah.
Actually, he starts going mad right away.
That's actually what I said.
What he said.
Yeah.
I thought you said
Flip
it
it,
wasn't
reverse-
the Misty.
No, that's what Rick said in the
Oh,
description.
well, like, I said he immediately falls under his power and slowly goes mad, so I guess Jason's would be a correction.
Oh.
But yeah, that
Okay,
is
you're
not
right.
it. That is not it. That's not
Gotcha.
the correction. All right. I'm going to go ahead and call it. Smeagol is not the one that finds the ring. Smeagol's cousin Deagle finds it, and Smeagol murders him
I did
and
know
takes
that.
it.
Actually, no. Actually, that happened in the movie
It
too.
did. It did
Yeah,
happen in the movie.
It did.
Yeah.
I remember
'Cause,
reading
like-
it too, though.
Yeah. Right. Well, no. It definitely happened in the book, but like, it was like an add-on or something like that. Or later in the movie, Deagle found it, and Smeagol came up and choked him out. He said, "Daddy," and then he died, and he took the.
Which is weird because they're
You couldn't-
cousins.
I don't remember
Right.
that,
You could,
but-
and you really have to listen for it. It's there though. It's there.
It's weird because that
think
was
that-
also in the book.
Yeah.
Well, I
That's
think
Jack Harlow.
Tolkien really kind of, used Alabama a lot when he was running the scenery and stuff
Oh,
of the
yeah,
book.
that
So he
makes
based
sense.
a lot of it off of that. So
Makes sense. The next question is sci-fi. In the 2017 video game Destiny 2, the Traveler is a large orb responsible for creating constructs called ghosts. Each ghost is programmed to find and revive as many fallen warriors as it can. Many revived warriors become guardians for the last city, but others become terrible warlords instead. Jason.
actually, each ghost only revives one guardian.
That is correct. Ghosts don't revive as many warriors as they can. They have a specific person they form bond with known as their chosen. So that point goes to Jason.
I'm on the board.
Oh, no.
I better be on the board with that. I was like terrified when you started reading that one because I'm like, oh god, if I don't know this, then what? Why have I spent like 6,000 hours playing Destiny 1 and 2? So it would have been really, really bad.
It paid off.
Worth it.
Do you prefer the Peter Dinklage or the Nolan North?
It's been so long since it was Dinklage. I was really upset when they changed it. As much as I love Nolan North,
Mhm.
Dinklage was really I really liked him doing the voice. But I mean, I get that North is just a lot more available. It was really hard for them to get Dinklage to come back in and record lines, so it made sense. But they both have a place for sure. I do still miss Dinklebot for sure.
I never understood people used to complain that like Dinklage was too deadpan, and I'm like, he's doing a robot. Like I think I think it's spot on for the character that he's playing. But
I loved it.
that's
Yeah,
just
I loved
me.
his.
All right, that brings us into our next shiny question, which will be a spelling bee. So we all know sci-fi and fantasy words can have a lot of weird spellings, apostrophes, random capitalizations, things like that. So I'm going to give you a word. First person to buzz in will be the first person to give me a shot. You can all buzz in, and we'll just kind of go down the line based on who buzzes in first. First person to spell the word correctly will get the point. Your word
Can we
is...
write it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You can write it. Your word is Wookiee. All right, Jason, you're up first.
Jason. Wait. You can't hit the button and then start writing everything down.
Oh, do I have to show you the writing, or am I?
No,
just
just go ahead.
You're fine. You're fine.
Yeah.
I was messing with you.
I'm like, how many easier than Wookiee?
That is correct.
I was like, do I add the
Got
extra
it
E or
in
not?
Wookiee is the correct spelling of Wookiee.
I definitely would have got that wrong.
When I originally wrote it, I only put one E, and I was like, no, there's got to be two.
I think
There's
I
two
would have
of
gotten
those.
it wrong too. That second E would have gotten me. Definitely.
That sounds like a George Lucas thing. Another E, that bastard.
That is totally a George Lucas thing. I honestly think that's why a lot of the original trilogy is sometimes better than some of the later movies, is people actually told George Lucas this is just a little too crazy, George. And then in like the prequels and stuff like that, they just let that man do whatever he wanted to, and this is what we got. Not to say that they were bad movies, just...
Do you think he originally tried to go with 3 E's, and someone in the original time said, look, 2, we'll give you 2.
Too many.
But come on.
Yeah.
I heard he had Ric Flair spell it first, and it was just a bunch of O's and then Kiee.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Canon.
I would say it. I would say it, but my mic would go out.
Yeah. Wookiee. All right, our next one is another comics question. This one's about Spider-Man.
Was that? Wait, hold on. The shot that was just one thing
No.
in the shiny question.
Yeah, that's it.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah. This next question is a comics question about Spider-Man. You wouldn't think the web slinger would need any help getting around, but Spider-Man has actually had some really bizarre vehicles. In the 70s, the comics gave him a car that could drive up walls called the Spider-Mobile, while in the Japanese TV show, he had a leopard-themed motorcycle called the Leoplorodon. Baron.
Actually, it was a giant mech.
What was a giant mech?
Oh, the Japanese Spider-Man's vehicle was a giant mech.
That is correct. Leoplorodon was a 200-foot-tall transforming robot, not a motorcycle.
It's also not Leo. It's not Leoplorodon either. Leoplorodon is the thing that
Leopardon, I
Charlie-
think is how they say it in. But it is a Leoplorodon. Like its shape is a Leoplorodon. So
It's a magical Leoplorodon.
Charlie.
Oh gosh.
Oh man, that Japanese Spider-Man TV show was
It's wild, isn't it?
full insanity.
Also, played a huge part in Ready Player One.
Yeah, it did. The book, not the movie.
Right.
Yeah. Right,
The
next-
book where they spent a whole chapter of him having sex with a weird robot thing.
Oh
in
yeah, that I
the
tried,
Oasis, yeah.
try to forget that part.
It's weird.
Yeah, I have not read the book.
Did he have sex with Spider-Man's mech?
I mean, wouldn't you?
I mean, why not?
Oh. That's a different question.
It's a different game.
Don't turn this back on me, sir.
All right, next up we've got a fantasy question.
That was a fantasy question, actually. Yes, I would. Is that the answer? No? Okay.
You didn't say I'm
You
actually.
didn't say
Racing a point.
That'd be funny if you didn't really just erase my point. Thanks.
Hilarious.
In the 1986 film Labyrinth, Sarah's baby brother Toby won't stop crying, so a group of goblins shows up and kidnaps him from his crib. Jareth, the Goblin King, tells Sarah that if she wants Toby back, she must solve his trap-filled labyrinth in less than 13 hours. If she fails, Toby will become a goblin forever. Baron.
Actually, the goblins didn't just show up. Sarah asked them to take him.
That's correct.
You can have
That was a shot in the fucking dark, because that
was a tricky one.
Yeah.
I mean, they
Yeah,
did
'cause
just show up after she asked him to.
Right.
I was like, this all
'cause,
sounds correct to me.
Exactly, yeah. I was listening to the whole thing. I'm like, this is all right. What's happening here?
They do kidnap him, but not until after Sarah wishes out loud for them to come and take him away.
Which I guess technically isn't kidnapping.
I mean, I don't think she has legal guardianship to grant. I'm pretty sure that's still kidnapping.
But she was put in charge of the baby.
Oh, so someone did kidnap my little brother.
Yeah.
Oh, awkward.
It's okay. I'm
Anyway.
sure there's a
Unless
statute
you
of
didn't
limitations
ask
on
them.
those
Yeah.
things. Oh man, how many people's sexual awakening was Jareth the Goblin King?
Mine wasn't. Close, but it wasn't. Close.
The goblins.
I think
No,
Jennifer
mine-
Connelly in that? It would be Jennifer Connelly for me.
Well, I mean, there's no one blaming you on that one.
Fair.
Mine was Legend.
Oh,
Good one.
okay.
Mine was Legend. And no, not Tim Curry. I wanted to be Tim Curry. Jack and Lily were my sexual awakenings. Okay, and Tim Curry. Anyways.
Mine was Casper.
Valid.
Oh, okay.
Ghost.
Christina
Ghost?
Ricci and Casper?
Oh, I thought you meant the ghost.
Well, you know. Who doesn't like a little JTT?
Oh.
I was like, can't relate, but good for you.
All right. Our next question is a video game question. In the 2012 video game Borderlands 2, Handsome Jack is the CEO of Hyperion and a colossal jerk. After buying a living stallion made of diamonds, he says he's going to name it Piss for Brains in honor of the players, but settles on the name Butt Stallion. He also hires bandits to kill his own grandma, then sends the players to kill the bandits so he doesn't need to pay them. Baron.
Actually, Butt Stallion was my nickname in high school.
While that may be true, that doesn't change anything in the question,
Gotcha.
so we can't give you a point for that.
Gotcha. This game's rigged.
Caitlyn.
Actually, it wasn't his grandma.
Oh, no, he totally does that. He hires bandits to kill his own grandmother, and then hires the players to kill the bandits, so he doesn't have to pay them. Jason.
Christ.
Actually, he wasn't CEO of Hyperion.
Well, the question is, Handsome Jack is the CEO of Hyperion, which around the time the question is asked, he is CEO of Hyperion, so that would be a correction. Yeah.
I couldn't remember at that time if he was or not.
Yeah.
I'm not sure then. What is wrong with that? I'm going to be annoyed. I played a lot of that game too.
All right, you're going to hate this one. This is a very pedantic correction. Butt Stallion is not a stallion. Jack's diamond pony is female, so she should be called Butt Mare.
Oh, come on.
I'm not mad at myself. I wouldn't have. That never would have crossed my mind.
All right. Tiffany, would you want to remind us of our score going into the final question?
We have Brad with 6, Jason with 2, Caitlyn with 0.
All right. Looks like.
I thought I had won.
That's what I thought too.
Looks like Baron really ran away with this one, but that's okay. Our last question is concerning real life skills. So while it is worth as much as the other points, it could be considered the moral victory because you're the one who knows about real stuff instead of all this nerd shit. All right. Oops, you just chomped into a whole ghost pepper. In the future, avoid eating the seeds. They're the spiciest part. But if your mouth is already burning, drink some milk to cool things down. Or try drinking something acidic like lemonade to break down this capsaicin. Whatever you do, don't drink water. That'll only spread the spicy components around. Jason.
Actually, I could be wrong if you said at the end. Actually, milk helps at first, but is not good to drink. Oh.
Nope, that's
Yeah, I confused it with water. Once you said the water at the end, I was like, yeah, no, I confused the milk and water.
Baron.
Actually, you can drink water.
No, you can, but you shouldn't. It will spread the capsaicin around and doesn't actually get rid of anything.
So what I heard you say was that I was right.
No. Because the question says that will only spread the spicy components around. It doesn't say you can't drink water, it just says you shouldn't.
Fine.
Caitlyn?
Don't drink lemonade, actually.
No, actually, that does chemically break down the capsaicin, so the sugar and the acid in lemonade actually will help. Much more than just water will.
Are we allowed a second guess?
Sure, absolutely.
Actually, the seeds aren't the hottest part.
That you've definitely found what's wrong, so unless somebody else can tell me what is the hottest part of the pepper, you'll get the point. Baron?
Actually, it's the membrane on the inside.
I'm going to need you to be a little bit more specific.
The white ribby parts.
That's correct. It is called the pith, and
The
that
white
is
ribby parts.
yeah. That's the
I didn't name it though. I don't feel right taking it.
the spiciest part of the pepper is the pith, which is the whitest centerpiece where the seeds attach.
Oh, that's not what I was saying. I was saying like along the inside of the skin.
Okay, well in that
So
case,
I was
Jason,
still wrong.
Jason,
Yeah.
we're going to go ahead and give you that point. Yeah.
I could have been a dick. Could have been a dick and taken it, but I
appreciate appreciate you graciously winning by 3 instead of 5.
Hey, you're welcome.
So with that, Baron is our winner, and we did not manage to stump the Guildmaster this evening.
It's true. To be fair, your attempt at choosing questions, you hit right into my wheelhouse like 8 times. It was crazy. Thundercats was like my favorite show growing up.
There's some
Alright.
good pulls in there, though. I probably, even if I'd watched the stuff, you had some pretty good, guesses at them, too.
I got lucky on like 3 of them. Like, no fucking joke. That Labyrinth one was ridiculous. I'm like, I'm wrong.
There were some trick questions in there.
So thank you all so very much for joining us for this episode of Casters Guild based off of the hit show, Actually. Caitlyn, if anybody liked what you had to say and they want to find you anywhere on the internet, is there anywhere they can do that?
Yeah, you can actually listen out for my podcast. I run a movie podcast where we watch must-see films. It's Operation Silver Screen. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever you find your podcasts. And on Twitter and Instagram at OpSilverScreen. Alternatively, if you want to see something else I'm working on, I am currently executive producer of a film called Ultra Black. And you can find us at Ultra Black Film. It's about a black teenager who starts to lose pigment in his skin. So it's going to be an interesting short film. So if you're interested, check that out.
Jason, I'm sorry I'm making you follow that, but if people like what you had to say and they want to find you anywhere on the internet, is there anywhere they can do that?
Oh, not really. I don't do too much. Every now and then I show up here. If you want to add me on PlayStation, it's Shark1112. Play some Destiny too, but nothing as cool as what she has going on for sure.
So, thank you very much for tuning in to this episode of Casters Guild. Email us at castersguild@gmail.com. Find us on our Discord. We got some cool stuff going on over there. We just added a library channel not that long ago where we're doing some live readings. So, yeah, come check us out, and we will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Actually, bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.